everybody, welcome to Cooking It Real. I'm Kathy and I'm glad you could join me in my kitchen. I have got an absolute classic dish for you today. We are going to make baked macaroni and cheese from scratch. Let's just take a quick look at the ingredients we're going to need for this dish. And as you can see, it's not a whole lot. First thing you're going to need is some pasta. Now I am choosing classic elbow macaroni. You can use any pasta shape that you like. You can use rotini, or we call them twisties. You can use big elbows, small elbows, shells. You name it, you can use it. This is 8 ounces, or like half a pound of elbow macaroni. So whatever you are going to use half a pound of it. And what is macaroni and cheese without cheese? Now this is my go-to cheese. If you know me, you know I am a big fan of sharp cheddar cheese. This is 10 ounces of shredded cheddar cheese. And then we need our sauce. I've got half and half. I've got a little bit of flour, a little bit of butter, salt and pepper. Boom, that is it. That's all you need to make homemade, from scratch macaroni and cheese. Oh, and it's going to be so, so good. Let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is add our half a pound of elbow macaroni to our boiling water. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt to that water. Forgot to do that. We're going to give it a stir, and then we are going to cook it for 8 minutes. If you're using another type of pasta that needs to cook more than 8 minutes, you should cook it according to package directions. Now let's make our cheese sauce. I have here my 2 cups of half and half. You can absolutely use milk if you want to, but we don't do milk, regular milk in this house. We just have half and half for like our coffee. You want to warm it up a little bit. I just put this in a microwave safe Pyrex measuring cup, and I did it for about 1 minute and 10 seconds, and it is now at 133 degrees. Okay, you want it warm, but not hot. And the reason is because we're going to make a roux. I have 2 tablespoons of butter and 2.5 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. We're going to melt this butter, whisk in the flour, and then we're going to add the milk. Then we're going to add some of the cheese. So I want to see, just like by cups, how much 10 ounces of cheese turns into. So I got my 1 cup measure here. That's like 1 cup. I'm just going to make a little pile. Look at this. This is so scientific. 1 cup. That's like 2 cups. And that's probably like, let's see, 2 cups. And this is probably like a half a cup. Now, make sure you make a mess, because if you don't make a mess, you're not cooking it real. Yeah, I'd say 2.5 cups of cheese. If you don't have a scale and you don't want to measure, just get yourself 2.5 cups of cheese. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a little more than half of the cheese into the sauce, and then we're going to save the rest to sprinkle on the top when we put it in the oven. Woo, it's going to be so good. All right, let's go make our roux. Okay, I'm using the same pan that I used to boil the pasta. So I want to turn this on to about medium to medium high, halfway between medium and medium high. And I want to add my 2 tablespoons of butter. And I hope you're going to be able to see this. We're going to let this butter melt. We're doing it over a not too high flame. We don't want to brown the butter or anything like that. We want it to just melt. This butter was cold out of the fridge, so it's going to take a second. Oh, and also, at this point, you want to set your oven to 400 degrees. Okay, now we're going to add our 2.5 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. We add it in all at once, and we just start giving it a whisk. What we're trying to do is get the flour and the butter to get together. We don't want to put any color on this roux. We want to keep it a blonde roux, as they call it. We just want to cook it enough to get that flour flavor out. It's not going to take but a minute. This is easy peasy. if you saw my chicken and sausage gumbo video, you saw a different way to make roux. When you're making a gumbo, you need much more roux than this. And I did a very unique way of making the roux for that. Check that one out. Maybe if I remember, I'll link it in the description box. Okay. That's good. That's still blonde. You think that's been a minute? I didn't time it, but it's looking pretty good. All right, now we're going to add our warm milk. And the reason, or half and half, the reason that you have it warm, when you have a hot roux or a warm roux, you want a warm liquid. If you added a cold milk to a hot roux, it would definitely get all clumpy. It'd be a clumpy, dumpy mess. Oh, speaking of mess, I'm making a huge one. All right, now let's give that a stir with the whisk. And we're just going to cook this for about 5 minutes until it starts thickening up. Let me set a timer just to see how long it really takes. And after about the first minute, you kind of want to stay with this and just keep whisking it just so it doesn't scorch on the bottom, and you can feel when it starts to get thick. I can already feel it starting to thicken. Now, because this is half and half, it's probably going to be a little creamier, a little thicker. If it's milk, it'll still thicken up, but it might not be quite as creamy. But that's totally okay. It's been cooking for about 2 minutes now. I want to add some salt. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of salt. That's Redmond's real salt, and about half a teaspoon of pepper. You can use white pepper if you don't like the look of the black flakes. Yes. And another thing is, you can use, just like you can use any pasta shape, you can use any kind of cheese that melts. Now, I'm going to turn this down just a little bit now because it's really getting nice and thick. Oh, see that? Can you tell the difference? That's nice. I think it's time to add the cheese. Give it just another couple seconds. You can use like Monterey Jack cheese. You can use Gouda cheese or smoked Gouda cheese. You can use any kind of cheese that melts well, like a Gruyere cheese. You could do a blend of cheeses. That would be good too. But you know, this is just a basic recipe. There's so many things you can do. All right, this is feeling really thick. In fact, I'm going to show you. It's bubbling? Yeah. See on the back of a spoon? See how thick that is? Woo. Nice. All right. I'm going to turn this down to low. Give it another stir. Now I'm going to add about 1.5 cups of cheese. So I saved about a cup to put on the top. All right, everybody in. Come on, people. Let's go. Yeah, you want to really watch your heat. You don't want to overdo, because then you'll just have a scorchy mess. Okay. And this should melt up real nice and real quick. Yep. In fact, I'm going to turn the heat all the way off now. Oh, look at this. Now, if you wanted to, at this point, you could do some add-ins. You could add in some flavorings. You could add in, say, some hot sauce if you're into that kind of thing. You could add some ketchup or some Worcestershire sauce. Look at that beautiful color, and I like those black flecks. Don't you? I do. All right. I'm calling this good. Now we're going to take our cooked macaroni and we're just going to add it right in. I'm just using my hands, my impeccably clean hands. I'm going to use it right into the cheese sauce. In you go, baby. Woo, yeah. And then we're going to mix it up. Oh. Mix it up. Look at that. This almost looks like you could add more pasta to this. I don't know. But I've always just made it this way, but it's been a while. It's been a real while. I'm going to put this in a casserole dish, oven safe dish, baking pan, casserole dish, whatever you got. Here we go. You getting in there? Come on, baby. Come on. Ooh. Now, if you didn't want to bake it, I would just put in all of the cheese and just serve it up because it's really ready to go. It's not going to cook anymore. It's totally cooked. But look at, I still get all that sauce left in there. I'll try to get that. I don't want that to go to waste. Come on now. There we go. There we go. Come on now. Now, if you wanted, this is like a perfect side, okay? And if you wanted, you could turn it into more of a meal. You could add veggies to this. You could add like broccoli, frozen peas, a can of tuna fish, leftover chicken. You could cut up hot dogs. You could make this into anything you wanted it to be. But today, like I said, we're just doing the basics. So let's take the rest of our cheese and just spread it around. And it's already cooked, so what we're going to do is we're going to put it in that 400-degree oven just until it is hot and bubbly. Okay, here we go. Okay, while that's cooking, let's address the question that I'm sure you're all asking in your mind. Kathy, why would I go through the trouble of making macaroni and cheese from scratch when I can get it in the blue box or the orange box and it's just so quick and easy? Why would I go through all this trouble? Good question. I am not shaming anyone who uses the blue box. I bought many blue boxes in my day and many of the orange yellow boxes in my day. But the thing about that is the ingredients that are in those boxed products have many more things than what we just use to make our macaroni and cheese. They have preservatives, they have gums and artificial color and all kinds of things, okay? Things you don't really want. Now, am I saying that mine tastes better? Well, we'll see in a minute, won't we? I strongly suggest you just give this a try and see for yourself what you think. And while you're at it, if you've enjoyed this video, or even if you think that girl's crazy, give me a thumbs up anyway, because it really helps people to find my channel. And if you haven't subscribed, I would love for you to do that too. We're going to be coming up with all kinds of things in the very near future, and you're going to be seeing more and more videos from me. And I hope you enjoy each and every one of them. Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh, now I'd say that's hot and bubbly, wouldn't you? What I did was I had it at 400 for about 10 minutes, and then I just turned the broiler on for about 2 minutes. So I could have left it on the broiler for just a little bit more. It's only starting to show little bits of toastiness, but I just couldn't wait. It smells so good. Now, when I look at this and I think of serving this as a side dish, like say with a steak or a piece of chicken or a pork chop or whatever, I think this would easily feed 6 or more people. Now, if you had add-ins and you wanted to make this a main dish, I would say it could easily feed 4 people. But who am I kidding? I mean, I could probably eat this whole thing myself, and you probably could too. All right, so I'm going to take a plate and a spoon. I'm going to dish some of this up. Oh, it's so bubbly and hot. Oh, 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 yeah. Just a little bit here. See, like I think this would be a good side amount. But hey, you do you. Right here. Oh, yeah. Look at that. I'm going to let that cool for a minute because it is smoking hot. All right. Ooh, yeah, baby. Nice fork. If you've never made macaroni and cheese from scratch, please give it a try and let me know what you think. Is it worth it? It really wasn't that hard. It really didn't take that long. And you know, if you've never made a roux before or a cheese sauce, now you have a whole nother skill under your belt. And you can do so many things with a white sauce, a cheese sauce. We'll explore that in another video. But, oh, that's good. I can totally see spicing this up a little bit. You know, maybe adding a little bit of hot sauce. I think I said that before. Mm, mm, that's delicious. Thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you again next time. Bye, friends.